ઓકે હિતેશ સર, આપણે લાઈવ છે, સ્ટાર્ટ કરો. હા, હું તમને અનમ્યુટ કરું છું, 1 સેકન્ડ ઉભા રહ્યો. તમે અનમ્યુટેડ છો, તમે સ્ટાર્ટ કરો હવે.
Okay. So, hope things are clean. Can you hear me? See me?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
streaming and it is absolutely clean. Hitesh sir, Binda, start talking, no problem.
Okay. So, good evening, friends. Today we are on the evening of Valentine's Day here. So, those who are married but looking or unmarried, happy Valentine's Day. And those who are married, I'm sorry. With that, let me start today's talk. We are talking today on the most important aspect of our safe practice, that is indemnity insurance. There were so many questions about indemnity insurance, and I thought this was the right subject and the first subject to start with, so that we can understand what the indemnity insurance is all about. Jay, maru sharing nathi chaltu.
હા, 1 સેકન્ડ સર. સર હવે ચાલુ કરો શેરિંગ.
So I will share my presentation so that I can, I think, yeah. Just a minute. Okay. So can you see the slides? Yeah.
Completely visible, no problem. Visible.
So we are starting with the indemnity insurance. What is indemnity insurance? Now, indemnity, it is posed. Just a minute, Jay. I will have to share it again. There is some problem.
Okay, try again, sir. Sir, you will have to stop screen sharing and then again redo it.
Yes, I understand. But the cursor goes. That's the issue. Okay, and I will share it again.
Your screen is visible, sir.
My screen is visible, but this thing is not coming. Just a minute. Indemnity insurance. Wait. Yes, I'm opening it. And now it should go full screen. That is where. Okay. So we are talking about indemnity insurance. Now, indemnity insurance is very important. We all know that, we have taken it, but we don't know what it is, what are the most important things in it, because when it comes to claim, it may get rejected, right? And nowadays, the claims are so huge. To get 40, 50 lakh rupees over any trivial issue is very easy. So whatever insurance you take from any company, you should be knowing that what are the features of it and what it contains in it. And that is what was the purpose of this lecture today. Now, what is insurance? Actually, insurance is basically a contract, right? We are making so many contracts in our life, and insurance is also a contract. It is a contract, and indemnity insurance is where one company is taking responsibility of you when you suffer some losses, right? So insurance usually are of the two type, life insurance and non-life insurance. And this indemnity insurance falls into non-life insurance category. Life insurance is usually a kind of insurance where you are insuring your life, and if you do not die during that period at maturity, then they will give you whatever premium you have given, right? Or whatever sum you have assured. While in non-life insurances, whatever premium you pay, usually it goes if that particular contingent condition doesn't happen. So that is non-life insurance. There are so many various types of insurance, and we have to have so many, but at least we should have indemnity insurance. Like there is a business insurance, car insurance, disability insurance, fire insurance, casualty insurance, flood insurance. There are so many insurances which are required, which are very much important. And if you are on a position of head of the company, there are other insurances which you require. But what we are talking today is only indemnity insurance. And that is in very brief, but I will tell you what are the important features of it and what you must understand. You should have like premises insurance. That is also one of the very important insurance against the natural disasters like fire, flood, earthquake, right? And also get man-made disasters included. Usually, when you take any insurance for the premises, they give a plain insurance that includes only natural disasters. Now, there are few man-made disasters. What are man-made disasters? War, riot, mob violence, and somebody will say marriage. But that is not insured, right? Insurable things are only war, riot, mob violence. That is more common than flood, fire, and earthquake. But still, we are taking only flood, fire, and earthquake. And if you pay just say 10% more premium, they will include this war, riot, and mob violence also, which is more likely to happen. And you should be aware about that as well. Then equipment insurance, workman compensation, public liability, and indemnity insurance. So if you do not have any of this, if you do not have full cover, at least have some cover, right? And that is indemnity insurance. At least that insurance you should have. Forget all others. So for that, we must understand what it will protect us from. And to understand that, we have to understand where all patient can file a complaint. So patient can file complaint in consumer forum, civil court, criminal court, medical council, human rights commission, so many places, right? So, and if you are lucky, patient will file complaint at all these places from only one case, right? All cases are different. Consumer forum is for getting some type of compensation. Civil courts are also having the similar remedy. There also patient file complaints for the getting some kind of compensation. Criminal court is to punish wrong. That means the outcome in criminal court will be jail or fine or both. That is not called compensation. It is actually called fine or penalty. So then there will be medical council. The purpose of complaint in medical council is either to remove your name for some time or permanently. And Human Rights Commission. Human Rights Commission usually forward the complaint to appropriate forum. So these are various forums. Even there are more, like there is a Women's Right Commission, there is Children Right Commission, there is PMO office, so many places. There is local medical officer where patient can file complaint, all these places. Now, what is indemnity insurance? This policy is meant for professionals to cover which is for the making good for the losses. Indemnity word itself means making good for the losses. That means if you incur any kind of loss due to your professional within ambit of your professional practice, professional service, then they will make good for the losses. That is what the indemnity means. Now, this means two things. First, indemnity insurance does not cover criminal law, because in criminal law, you do not actually incur any loss, right? It is basically a punishment. Criminal law is based on the personal guilt, and no one can be punished for someone else's guilt. Suppose I take indemnity insurance for criminal law, nobody else can go to jail instead of me. It is only me who will have to face the jail. So indemnity insurance is always for the losses which you have incurred. And we must check the terms of the policy if they can give cashless claim settlement or not. That is also very important. Why it is important? As I told you, indemnity means making good for the losses. Now, many companies, they don't give you cashless. Now, what is that? Suppose a case is filed against a doctor, and by any reason, you have lost the case. An order is passed against you to pay 1 crore rupees. So, what insurance company will say? You pay 1 crore rupees to the patient first who has filed a case against you. You'll incur the loss first, and then we will make good for the losses. That means we will reimburse that. So you first have to pay 1 crore rupees to the patient. Then you will have to show this loss to the insurance company. You have to file everything to the insurance company. Insurance company will go through everything, and then they will pay you 1 crore rupees over maybe 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, nobody knows. Or they may refuse. So it is like mediclaim policy where there are two types of mediclaim policy, right? When patients take mediclaim policy, either there is reimbursement or there is cashless. Similarly, in indemnity policy also, there can be cashless or reimbursement. So please check this whether your policy is falling within cashless claim settlement. That is first important thing which you should see. Now, in professional indemnity, the sum insured is referred to as the limit of indemnity. Sum insured means, say you have policy of 1 crore sum insured. That means they can give you or they can make good for the losses up to 1 crore, not more than that. We have to understand AOA, any one accident and any 1 year. What is any one accident and any 1 year? Any one accident, that means any one claim in the year, and any one accident, any 1 year means any 1 year. So any one accident in any 1 year, there is always a ratio. I will tell you with example, so will you understand. Any one accident in any 1 year is very important to understand in any insurance policy. Suppose you have a policy of 1 crore, right? Now you have taken insurance with 1:1 ratio. That means in any one accident, any one case against you in that year, the insurance company is bound to give you sum assured up to 1 crore rupees because the ratio is 1:1. But if suppose the ratio is 1:2, that means insurance company will say any two accidents in 1 year. That means insurance company will pay up to 50 lakh rupees per accident in that particular year. So in one accident, the maximum amount they can give is 50 lakh rupees only, though your sum insured is 1 crore. But the ratio is 1:2. That means insurance company will wait for second incidents to happen to give you 50 lakhs more, which they owe you. But we usually don't have two accidents, right? Or ratio can be 1:4 also. So in 1:2, the maximum compensation payable is always half the sum assured. And in 1:4, it is 1/4 of the sum assured. So if you have insurance premium, if your insurance policy of 1 crore and the ratio is 1:4, the liability of the insurance company per accidents only is up to 25 lakh rupees. They will say we are reserving this 75 lakh for 3 more accidents to happen. Now, let me tell you, if you have 4 accidents in a year, you should stop your practice. You have to learn more and then you have to come back into the practice. So that never happens. It is usually these ratios 1:2, 1:4 is for engineers, is for builders, is for architects, those who have multiple accidents. Or in one incident only, they will have multiple complaints. They have made a row houses. There are 5 clients who will file complaint against them, right? So for them, it is applicable. For doctor, it is always 1:1. But how it affects us? One company agent will come to you. He will say, I will give you 1 crore rupees insurance for, say, 20,000 rupees or maybe 10,000 rupees. And the ratio will be 1:1. Another agent will come and he will say, he is telling you 10,000 rupees. Sir, I will get you the same insurance for 6,000 rupees. You will sign that contract. But he will put ratio as 1:2 because the company's liability is only up to 50 lakhs. It is not 1 crore. Company also know that doctors don't have that many claims, right? There may not be 4 claims in a year. So always go with 1:1 ratio and then pay your premium. If somebody tells you that our premium is less, always check on this ratio. They might be playing with you by changing this ratio. So please be aware about that. We just signed the policy without understanding this. The second important thing is occurrence-based policy versus event-based policy. What is that? Anybody knows? Occurrence-based policy versus event-based policy. Let me tell you. Occurrence-based policy means when the claim or the occurrence or event-based policy. Yes. And the second is claim-based policy. What is the difference between occurrence and event-based policy versus claim-based policy? I will tell you. Suppose you have done tubal ligation today, right? You are insured from January to December. You have taken policy in January. You are insured up to December. You have done tubal ligation today. After 5 years, that girl becomes pregnant. So the operation was happened in 2025, but the negligence came in the knowledge of the patient in after 5 years in 2030. So she is filing claim against you in 2030. So if your policy is claim-based policy, it will cover you in 2030 also. But the only condition in claim-based policy is the policy has to be continuous. There can't be break in between. In event-based policies, even if you have stopped taking insurance after 2025 and something happens in 2030, they will still cover you because you were covered during the time when the incident had happened, when the negligence had happened, if at all it was a negligence. I hope it is clear, right? So in occurrence-based or event-based policy, the claim can be made during the of the incidents which has happened during that period when you were covered anytime in future. While in claim-based policy, you require retroactive date. So what is retroactive date? When you take a policy today, your date will be put as 14th February 2025. The policy starts. Next year, when you start you renew your policy, they will write retroactive date of today's 14 to 2025. Though the policy was renewed in 2026, they will write the retroactive date. And that retroactive date is very important. In one of my case, the client was covered for 10 years with one policy. Now another policy came where the premium was less. Say he was paying 10,000 rupees for 1 crore, and these people, they gave 6,000 rupees premium for 1 crore. So he switched the policy from this to this. But these smart people, this new insurance company, they put retroactive date as today's date when the policy was taken. That means previous 10 years negligence will not be covered. Now it was so happened that something was found from the abdomen after few years. Say he was in new policy and that time it was found and the claim was made by the patient. But now the insurance company, present insurance company says your claim, your insurance has started with us just 2 years back, sir. This incidence is 5 years old. So you were not covered. The retroactive date is not proper. And the old policy people, they are telling that you are not with us. Why should we entertain your policy? So this is the whole problem. So you have to be very clear about claim-based policy and event-based policy. One more thing, when you go for claim, and unfortunately, all the policies are now changing to claim-based policy because they don't want to lose any client. They don't want a break in any insurance cover. So they will tell you that it is claim-based policy. So you will have to take policy. And to the extent, there is something called run-over policy. What is run-over policy? Suppose somebody gets enlightened after going to this Kumbh and stop medical practice, or somebody like me becomes advocate, or somebody dies unfortunately at old age. In that case, if his policy is not continued, that is called run-over policy. If it is not continued, whatever negligence has happened in the past when he was practicing will not be covered. So even if you leave your practice, you have to take run-over policy for few hours, few years, so that you can cover your whatever claims you anticipate that can be covered. If you are so sure that I have not done any negligence, all the patients were satisfied, you may stop paying the premium. But otherwise, you will have to continue with the run-over policy to cover those incidences which were happened during your active practice. Even if you retire, then also you have to take run over policy. So that is the drawback of claim-based policy. But the insurance companies are smart and they've come up with this claim-based policy, and all the policies, almost 90% of the policies are claim-based policy in today's time. So please be sure to make a policy continuous. You have to have no gap. Even if there is 1 day's gap, your retroactive date will change. Insurance company will not go back and write the previous date. Please be sure about that, because they don't want to take risk of others. Why will they take it? So please always check this thing also. He may give you less premium, but he will play these tricks. So please be sure about this as well. Now, we have discussed all this. So usually what we do, we say that shut up and take money, right? That is what we do. We just give money to somebody who is coming to take our signature on the policy document. But we don't read the policy completely. Also, the policy does not cover any claim made against them in respect of. There are certain terms and conditions which we don't read. These are the terms and conditions which are there in the standard policy. There may be some bargain, but see these terms and conditions. Liability arising from any criminal act or act in violation of any law or ordinance. So that is not included. In violation of any law. Suppose you have not followed ART Act. Suppose you have not followed PNDT Act. And if something happens, then this policy, the policy can be rejected. You may not get the claim. Services rendered under the influence of intoxicants or narcotics. Suppose you have taken alcohol and you are operating, then the policy will not sustain. They will not give you the claim. Dental treatment under GA except in a hospital. Many dentists are giving anesthesia on a dental chair in their small cabin. That they are not giving. The use of drug for weight reduction, sometimes it is excluded. Plastic surgery, that is excluded, but in a group policy, they are including plastic surgery. AIDS related condition, that also can be negotiated or bargained in case of group policy due to intentional non-compliance of statutory provisions. Now, if nursing home license is not there, that is a statutory provision. And if you don't have it, you are operating at a place where there is no nursing home, you have not taken it, it is required to be taken, then it is called intentional non-compliance of the statutory provision. They may reject your claim. Personal injuries such as libel, false arrest, defamation, mental, that can't be given. Genetic injuries caused by X-ray and all. So these are various terms. We don't read all these. There are so many such, right? Even there is one claim that just now I read that if the person, it is found that the patient is having, or the doctor is acting as an agent of the patient. That means such cases are coming up that doctor will ask their relative to file case against them for 1 crore rupees. Doctor will lose a case and the relative or somebody will get 1 crore rupees and they will share. So such type of incidences are also excluded. That is why you have to depend upon the group policy. Now, what are the benefits of group policy? Negotiations are good because in a group, the rates they negotiate to great extent. That is first benefit you will get. Rejection is less because all this rejection portion, which I told you that on various bases it can be rejected, that can be reduced because they are negotiating the terms with the insurance company. Then good lawyers can be appointed on a panel. That is very much important in any medical legal case because the insurance companies are having panel, but they are paying very less to the lawyers. They are paying only peanuts to the advocates. So good advocates are not on panel. So good associations, they are making panel of good advocates and they are forcing these insurance companies to have lawyers from their panel. So that is one more advantage. Outside court settlement. Now, actually, there is nothing like outside court settlement. What is outside court settlement? In outside court settlement, you are making one agreement with the patient saying that you will not file a complaint against me if I pay you this much. That agreement or that contract itself is illegal contract in the eyes of law. You cannot purchase anybody's right to sue you. But if at all you do this, then insurance companies say that it is against the Indian Contract Act. We will not pay you. But as I told you, if something is in violation of any law, the insurance company will not pay. But here, as a group, you can bargain this. You can say that outside court settlement company has to give, and the insurance company will bargain with the group, and they will allow this outside court settlement as well. Lapse will be condoned. How? What happens when you take a group insurance? The group will not allow to lapse your policy. What they will do, they will pay your premium, and they will tell you to pay some amount of, say, 500 rupees more or 1000 rupees more as a penalty. But the medical groups like Foxy or IMA or Surgeons Association or personal groups, they will take care that your policy will not lapse. They will pay your premium on your behalf, and then they will charge you little more. That will be a separate contract between that association and yourself. Premium can be reduced. That is also part of negotiation. And providing help in criminal case. As I told you, in criminal case, what help this policies can give you is, in many policies of group policies, it is negotiated that in criminal case, if you win the case, at least the lawyer's fees will be reimbursed to you. So that is the clause they put. If you win the case, the lawyer's fee will be reimbursed to you. But nobody will go to jail in your behalf. So indemnity means to make good for the losses, that we have to remember. Indemnity companies do that. Most indemnity companies do that job, and traditional indemnity insurance do not include any help in criminal cases. Also, the cases filed under PCPNDT, MTP, Biomedical Waste, ART, Medical Council Act, ICMR Act, or all this ART Act, or any other. If you are flaunting any other law, Drug Act, there are so many acts. If the cases are filed against them, then insurance company is not the answer. They will not take care of this type of cases. And most important thing, the preventive advice is lacking in most of the companies. They will not give you any preventive advice. If you ask any insurance company that this has happened, the case is not filed against you. Kindly tell me how to make my case papers. Kindly tell me how to write this incidents. Kindly tell me what to do. These insurance companies will never tell you all this because they don't have that expertise. So that is not there. So as Brother Yuan has said, you don't need miracles to happen if you have insurance. So, friends, have proper insurance, cover yourself properly, and always go for good insurance by looking all these things, taking all these things into mind, and understanding the pros and cons of each and every insurance. That is what is my message for today. And I think we have to keep it open now for the question and answer, right? I will stop sharing. Jay, so we will take questions now.
Yeah, I think, sir, maybe you can take 2 or 3 questions, and
Right,
rest
right.
of the questions you can answer on the group.
Group, yes, perfect.
Yeah.
So was it okay? Was it informative and you understood the concerns?
Sir, whenever you speak, I always listen to everything, so it's okay only.
Okay, fine.
So I think somebody has asked which is the best company for indemnity, with 1:1 sum assured and covers mistakes too, past mistakes too. I don't think there is anybody who is going to cover past mistakes. It is like
See,
a
whatever insurance you have taken, that insurance will not start covering you in the past. Nobody writes, only doctors do that. Understand that doctor will give you certificate in past date. Doctor will give you fake certificate for medical rest. Doctor do everything, but nobody in this world is making any fake contract. They will make contract on the day. So they will not write any retroactive date wrongly. Right. You can fight if they have not written retroactive date. Like in one insurance company, we went to embarrassment also to make the retroactive date appear in the new policy. They decidefully did not write the retroactive date, which was they renewed the policy in the reasonable time. Like policy in old policy was about to lapse, and doctor paid fees 2 days before, and still they put retroactive date of 2 days. So we fought and we got it corrected. That can be done, but you cannot go against the facts. Now, which company you are talking about? So we are coming out with insurance policy shortly. We are in discussion with the insurance company, because there is no company which is actually very satisfactory. At the end, at the time of need, they are not helping the doctors. That is what is my personal experience, because doctors come to me, they don't provide good lawyers. Even lawyers don't appear in the court. To that extent, the cases are there. So, and doctors don't, it is not about money for doctors. The insurance company doesn't understand that. It is not about money for the doctors. Doctors don't like to be labeled as negligent, right? That is most important thing. I'm fighting a case in Maharashtra, in one of the place, for 1 rupee claim. The claim is for 1 rupee. And still the case is going on. Doctor said, I don't want to label myself as negligent. We will fight this case. Otherwise, doctor can pay 1 rupee and win and finish off with the case. So that is the main concern. And that is why we are coming out with the insurance shortly. We are in discussions. But at present, my advice is whatever insurance you have, please continue. Don't lapse it. And you can have multiple insurances also. Like you can take insurance from one company and you can take insurance from another company also. That way also you can cover yourself.
I think it is, sir. We should take the rest of the questions on the WhatsApp because
Yes,
questions are pretty similar.
right.
So I thank you for this wonderful session. And Bela madam will be really upset that on Valentine's evening you are spending time with people like us instead of spending time with her. You could have taken
Good thing,
her to
Rajvi.
Blossom's ice cream.